House Bill 123, Vehicle Laws, HOV Lanes, Plug-in Electric Drive Vehicles. Favor report as amended, adopted.
Recognizing the gentleman from Calvert.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do have a couple of questions that I wanted to clarify with the floor leader, if I may.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
So this bill, House Bill 123, Vehicle Laws, HOV Lanes, Plug-in Electric Drive Vehicles, allows folks who have electric cars or electric vehicles to drive on the HOV lanes with one person in the car or two?
So just to be clear, this is a program that we had that expired last year, last fall, and we're just re-implementing. So to answer your question, it is for any plug-in vehicle, electric or hybrid, that is plug-in, period.
Okay. And so if a combustible engine car drives on an HOV lane, how many people do they need in the car without getting into a violation?
It depends on how it's posted, but 2 or 3.
So 2 or 3 for a car that is non-electric.
That is not a plug-in.
Okay. And with this bill, how many people, what's the minimum number of people you can have in the car?
I believe we just answered that, but you need at least the driver. It can't be autonomous for no one.
So you need just only one, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm just trying to get to the purpose of the bill. I mean, why are we treating folks who have electric cars differently from folks who have combustible engine cars? Why is that?
So this is an incentive for people to buy electric cars because they are better for the environment. Like I said, this is a program that we had. We're just bringing it back.
Okay. So, Madam Speaker, I do have an amendment at the desk. It's amendment number 123913425/1.
Amendment number 1.
Move so much be considered the reading of the amendment, Madam Speaker.
So order.
So, folks, the thought process, I'm assuming, behind this bill, at least that's what I'm hearing, and obviously we've seen bills like this before. The thought process is that if you drive an electric vehicle, somehow it's cleaner than a vehicle that's not electric. And it simply isn't so. It simply isn't so. One of the top books on Amazon right now is from Siddharth Kara, and it's entitled Cobalt Red. And Siddharth Kara says the following. He's a fellow at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and at the Kennedy School. He's been researching modern-day slavery, human trafficking, and child labor for 2 decades. He says that although the Democratic Republic of the Congo has more cobalt reserves than the rest of the planet combined, there's no such thing as a clean supply of cobalt from the country. In his book, Cobalt Red, Kara writes that much of the DRC cobalt, that's the Democratic Republic of Congo, is being extracted by so-called artisanal miners, freelance workers who do extremely dangerous labor for the equivalent of a few dollars a day. Kara says the mining industry has ravaged the landscape of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to Google Earth right now, the Kolwezi mine, K-O-L-W-E-Z-I mine in the DRC, you'll see the environmental degradation that you simply cannot believe. It is unbelievable how they have destroyed a massive section of the rainforest in the DRC. Millions of trees, according to Kara, have been cut down. The air around the mines is hazy with dust and grit, and the water has been contaminated with toxic effluents from the mining processing. What's more, he says, cobalt is toxic to touch and to breathe. This is in Cobalt Red, and this article is in NPR, and this gentleman is a fellow at Harvard University. So, Madam Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, the fact that we are giving preferential treatment and prescribing that the only right car to drive is an electric car simply isn't so. It is not so. And this amendment says, sure, if you want to use the HOV lane and you have an electric car, and it's a plug-in electric car that does not have cobalt in the battery, then your fee is $1,000, and that fee, because after all, you get to only have one person in the car, so you're getting this special advantage because allegedly, according to this body and the policies of this body and this legislature, if you drive an electric car, it is somehow better, and it is not. So $1,000 is the fee. If you want to have only one person in your car and you want to drive on the HOV lanes for a plug-in electric vehicle whose battery does not contain cobalt. And that money goes to the Transportation Trust Fund. After all, you're not paying the gas tax or any taxes whatsoever. The administration shall charge also a $2,000 fee to those electric cars that do have cobalt in their batteries, and that money shall go to the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, these aren't old articles. These are from 2023. This is still going on. If you care about human trafficking, if you care about the environment, if you Google Earth, the Kolwezi mine, you will see that this legislature is part and parcel of destroying the planet through its policies and through its preference and prescribing of only electric vehicles. And so, Madam Speaker, I believe the folks who own electric cars should pay a price for destroying the environment. They are not saving the environment, they are destroying the environment. And for all those reasons, I move this amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm so glad to hear that you care about human trafficking and about the environment. Members, I ask to reject this amendment. There's so many things I want to say, but I will just. But I'm just going to say that, as we all know, internal combustion engines add to carbon emissions. They add to the denigration of our planet, and electric cars and plug-in vehicles do not add those emissions. These manufacturers are actually moving away from cobalt. I would be honored to work on an anti-trafficking bill with the sponsor of this amendment. However, because this is a program that we've already had, we're just reinstating it, and for the other reasons I said, I ask you all to reject the amendment.
Madam Speaker.
Gentlelady from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support this amendment. It's a great amendment. I would encourage you, sitting on this floor, looking on your computer, many of you here, just Google Democratic Republic of Congo cobalt. You will see child labor. You will see horrifying images that are current. And we can do something right now about that. We can speak to the global crisis going on by supporting this simple amendment that will tell the people in the Democratic Republic of Congo we stand with them. And I'm sure the Chesapeake Bay Foundation would support this, as would the League of Conservation Voters and other organizations that are interested in climate change and pollution, environmental concerns across the globe. I am standing like a crocus, as the prayer said, to urge you to vote green.
On the amendment.
So, Madam Speaker, I do want to move the amendment, but before that, I just want to, and I know that visual aids are not always permitted, and I respect the Speaker, but
You're doing it anyway?
But it's just, it's a small one. It's a
We
small
can't
one.
see it anyway, so put it down.
Yeah,
We can't
so-
see it.
But that's a picture, one of the many pictures of the mine, and that's one of many, many, many mines. It's not a single mine, folks. It's one of many mines. And so this amendment is sending a message to the folks who own electric cars that not all is well with the parts that are inside those cars. And they're literally causing incredible environmental damage. And I think if people actually knew this, they'd be much more cautious about what kind of car they would buy, and they would want more technological change. So for all those reasons, Madam Speaker, I move the amendment. Thank you.
Any more comment? Hearing none. The question for the House is the adoption of the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No. Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Roll call.
Madam Speaker.
Clerk will call the roll. There being 96 in the negative, the amendment fails.